Hi guys, several months ago I was talking to Tim Draper in San Mateo in Silicon Valley. It was a 2-day interview and I asked him around 100 questions, but some of the questions I have recorded on video. And I asked him about cryptocurrencies, how he started, how he got interested in Bitcoin, in other cryptocurrencies. At the time of the interview, the Bitcoin price was around $1,000, maybe below $1,000. In the beginning of 2015, Tim Draper bought 30,000 Bitcoin in the auction of Bitcoins seized from Silk Road. As of today, he made 65 million with that transaction. He is also the man behind the most successful token ICOs at the time of the recording. Bancor raised $150 million in June 2015, and after 4 days of its ICO, Tezos raised already over $200 million. It is already the largest ICO in the history, and Tim Draper is founding investor of both of these companies. Tim is a VC legend in Silicon Valley, and he invested in over 50 Bitcoin and blockchain companies already. Let's see what he has to say about the presence and the future of cryptocurrencies. You invested a fortune in Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin do you actually own?
I don't know exactly, but it was a great move from my standpoint, because I look and I said in 2008 when the U.S. was losing faith even in their own currency, that I thought, oh boy, maybe we need an alternative to fiat currencies. And that was where I really got behind Bitcoin, behind all
2008, I mean it.
I was looking not just at Bitcoin. I was looking at all the alternative currencies way back when.
Because Bitcoin came out in 2009.
It was a reaction to the 2008 crash, and it was all through 2008, 2009. People were just running for the hills, and we needed more heroes. So I looked and I said, this is a really interesting alternative. I had been looking at virtual currencies inside of games, thinking, those could potentially be real money, real value there. For quite a long time. There was a Korean group back in 2004 or 5 that I looked at, and there was a
Cacao?
No, but they were buying.
Yeah. Do you know Cacao?
No, what's the one that's there that was everywhere in Korea?
It's Cacao. It's Cacao Messenger.
Maybe I'm messing with your accent. It was like Legends of the something. Legend.
The game. You mean?
Yeah, the game was Legend. Anyway, it was a great game, and this Korean guy said, I just spent $40 on a sword for my son for his birthday, and he was talking about a virtual sword. It was the beginning of something really extraordinary. So so I've always been very interested in it, but after 2008, I was really I had my antenna up. And so then I actually made an investment in what I believe was one of the first Bitcoin companies, but it was called CoinLab. It didn't really pan out. I asked him to buy me some Bitcoin, but instead he said, well, I'll take your money and I'll create a mining organization.
I see, okay.
And by the time he got all the chips and all that stuff, there were a lot of the Bitcoins were already mined, and and Bitcoin was going up already. So we missed a little window there, but then later the auction, the U.S. Marshal's Office confiscated some Bitcoin from illegal practices. It's interesting. Bitcoin it's easier to catch somebody who's using Bitcoin for illegal activity than it is if they're using dollars. Stacks of dollars.
So it's not anonymous.
No, not at all. Because somebody just stole some Bitcoin from our machine here, and I have since gone to all the Bitcoin trading platforms and said, whose number is this? So they're going to be busted too. So it's just a matter of, this is the safest currency there is.
Right.
And so all you hackers out there, beware, you're going to be busted. As soon as you start using your currency, you're gone. And so I thought this was really something exciting.
By the way, why did you invest in Bitcoin? And because there are like hundreds and thousands of other currencies, Ethereum or
Oh, I figured there'd be a leader, and it became the leader. HTTP became the leader in internet, even though there were many other protocols.
Right.
So I just figured there would be one leader, and that was the leader. And so I backed it. There have been some technical snafus, and price went down. Lots of other things have happened, but then,
I think you invested
but it started to.
Right, at $400 now. Right now.
Actually, we never published that. So you don't.
No, I mean the price at the
price there was about 300.
About 300.
Yeah, at the time of the auction.
Yeah.
3 something higher than that. And
so like you have.
And so I looked very stupid for a couple of years. I looked very stupid for a couple of years there, and I was comfortable with that because we were creating it was a mission. I didn't just put money into Bitcoin itself. I used the Bitcoin, or a lot of Bitcoin, to fund entrepreneurs that were doing Bitcoin. And so we have investments in something like 40 or 50 Bitcoin companies. So all of these entrepreneurs, engineers have been working to build out this wonderful new platform, and now we're all going to benefit from that. And I think it's probably...
So it's like the quote from I guess, Elon Musk at Draper University, like instead of witnessing the future, you can create it, right? Or something like that. So you
can actually drive something to happen if you have a strong enough force behind you. And it's, I like it because I think it's very good for society because it opens it up. It gives us another currency. It's frictionless. You can store value that doesn't have to be tied to some government. Right. You can go across the border. You can still have your Bitcoin.
Are you influenced by Austrian school of economics, like this? That this is actually a deflationary currency. Does it play a role for you?
It's a deflationary currency. It depends on how you look at it, but there are a limited number of them out there, and so there's a supply-demand thing, and that does play into it. But there's another thing that plays into it in that, and as people mine it, there will be more out there. There are 21 million total, but right now, what do we have? About 14 million out there. And so there are more that will be mined, and ideally those things kind of work together. But it's good to have
so what if I ask
currency that is not inflationary.
What if
so
I ask
they're not just putting it out there? But what's great about it is as it spreads, it becomes more valuable, but it gets used more. And so as it's used more, it's better for, if you use something, it's better for you. You feel it's better.
What would be your guess about value of Bitcoin in, let's say, 3 years?
Well, that's funny because I did this before. I said, in 3 years, it's going to be 10,000.
But it was 2015, I think, when you said.
Right. So I'm still hanging on to that one. So what do we have? We have another year. Yeah. And I'm saying it's worth 10,000 now.
Yeah, there are people. It's probably will go up maybe to 3,000 this year, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows what'll happen? It may have fits and starts, but generally, it's something we all need. It's frictionless, it's not tied to a government, and I think that is the most valuable thing we have, because trust in governments is falling around the world.
Right.
I mean, as we can communicate more, we do realize that these governments are kind of making up things that we have to fund or whatever. And so my guess is that a really good government could run on 5 to 10% of the GDP, and now they're running at 50% of GDP. So clearly there are some ways we can all make government more efficient, and if you don't have 100% faith in your government, you ought to put a little bit of money into Bitcoin.
Do you see a point in future where Bitcoin replaces dollar as a lead money in the world economy?
In my mind, it is more valuable.
Of course, but I mean politically.
No, it's more valuable because it is so easily transferable around the world.
Okay, but it doesn't mean
as opposed to, like, you can't take a naira from Nigeria and buy anything here. Yeah. But you can take Bitcoin and you can buy anything here.
Right.
Yeah. And you can buy it in Nigeria too.
Right.
So it's a more valuable currency.
If you want to watch the full video interview, you can get it here. And here you can subscribe to this channel in order to get more information about self-made billionaires, their thinking and their strategies. That's it for now. Thank you and see you.